Hey everyone, welcome back again to our exciting series of cyber blogs. Once again, this is M. Kumar, and as always, today we are again talking about a random topic which is red team versus blue team. As well, this is the first video of 2021, so I hope you'll like it and we'll get a little bit dive in to know what is red team and what is blue team. So let's start this video without wasting our time. So basically, the red and blue team are the most than just hello friends and army techniques. In fact, these teams plays an important role in defending against advanced cyber attacks that threaten business communications, sensitive client data, or trade secret. So basically, red teams are offensive security professionals who are expert in attacking systems and breaking into defenses. As well, in our other hand, blue team are defensive security professionals who are responsible for maintaining internal network defense against all kind of cyber attacks and threats. Red teams or red teamers simulates attack against blue teams to test the effectiveness of the network security. These red and blue team exercises provide a holistic security solution, ensuring a strong defensive while keeping in view involving threats. So let's roll out to our next page, which will just give a brief like what topic we are today going to talk on. This is the part which I'm going to cover in this video. So I hope this will be a much more beneficial video in the whole series of cyber blogs which has been provided by VIH Group. So the first part and the whole topic which we will cover is something like what is a red team, how does a red team works, example of red team exercises, how a blue team works, how does a blue team works, what is blue team, exercise of blue team exercises, and examples of blue team. And at getting some stuff, we'll also know that what are the benefit of red and blue teams, do red and blue team work together, and at last we'll understand what is purple team. I think this is a little bit creepy what's up for some of the audience because all are familiar with red team and blue team, but something like purple, orange, white, a lot of teamings are there. But today we will only talk about red team, blue team, purple team. The purple team, which is the creepiest one. So at first, let's talk about what is red team and who are red teamers. So basically, as the name refers, red, which is a kind of something offensive protocols. So basically, red teamers are the offensive one. So, red teams consist of security professionals who act as advisories to overcome cybersecurity controls. Red team often consist of independent ethical hackers. Ethical, basically, you can understand like they are ethical, unethical, anything else. But in the professional sense, red teams will be something like often consist of independent ethical hackers who evaluate system securities in an objective manner. So they utilize all available techniques which we are going to discuss after some practice to find weakness in people's process technique to gain unauthorized access to the asset. As a result of these simulated attacks, red teams make recommendations and plan on how to strengthen and organize security posture. So this is like now the question arises, how does a red team or red teamer work? So something like you might be surprised to learn, like I was, that red teams spend more timing planning on attack than they do perform attack. So basically there's a basic logic like if we are going to construct a house, suppose that we are a constructor and we are constructing a lot of house. So at first we'll create some sort of models like where will be the pillars, where will be the bricks, where will be the roof. So this is basically before attacking we have to plan all the things like what things are going to execute when. So this is the basic logic. So in fact, basically the red team deploy a number of methods to gain access to a network. Security or maybe social engineering attacks, for example, rely on reconnaissance and research to deliver targeted like spear phishing campaign. Likewise, prior to performing a penetration test, which may be like packet sniffing and protocol analyzers are used to scan the network and gather as much information about the system as possible. So typically information gathering or information gathered during the phase which may include uncovering operating system in use which may be like Windows, Mac OS or Linux. The next one can be like identifying the make and model of network equipment which may include the server which are being running on their side, the firewall, the configuration, switches, routers, access point, the computer, the nodes which are being connected, and a lot of stuffs similarly. And they also gather like they understand the physical controls which may include like doors, where are locks, camera which are implemented where, security personals. So basically whenever you are going to do a physical social engineering attack, so this kind of information which will might help you a lot. So they also learn like what port are open close on a firewall to allow and block specific traffic maybe target. So it's also create a big impact while detecting the firewalls port which are being running or how many ports are being filters and the closed ports. So basically this is your entry point from where you're going to enter in the system. So and at last they may create a map of the network to determine what hosts are running, what services along with where traffic are being sent. So once the red team has a more complete idea of the system, they develop a plan of action designed to target vulnerabilities specific to the information they gather above. For example, a red team member may know what is like they know that a server is running Microsoft Windows Server 2016 R2, which is basically a server operating system, and that the default domain policy might still be in use. As you can see on my screen, this is the default domain policy. So basically when the Microsoft shifts their software in its default state, leaving it up to network administrator to update the policies, which Microsoft recommend you to as soon as possible to harden network security, which is a very important part you should do as soon as possible while you are getting the related stuff. And if still set to its default state, an attacker can work to compromise the relaxed security measures in place. After vulnerabilities are identified, a red team tries to exploit those weaknesses to gain access into your network. Once an attacker is in your system, the typical course of action is to use privilege escalation technique. I think and I know you all guys, all of my audience are familiar with privilege escalation technique. So whereby the attacker attempt to steal the credential of an administrator which is the higher authority of the system who has greater and maybe full access to the higher level of critical information. So I think you are like knocking out what is tiger team. This is the term which I not ever heard. So basically we will also tell you what is tiger team. So basically in the earlier days of network security, a tiger team carries out many of the same functions as a red team. The team has evolved over the years, now referring to tiger teams as an elite and highly specified group hired to take on a particular challenge against the security posture of an organization. Now we'll go ahead to the examples of red team exercises. So basically red teams or maybe the red teamers use a variety of methods and tools to exploit weaknesses and vulnerabilities in a network. It's important to note that Red teams will use any means necessary per the terms of engagement to break into your system. Depending on the vulnerabilities, they may deploy malware to infect host or even bypass physical security controls by cloning access card, which is typically used in social engineering attack when you are going to physically enter into the organization or maybe in the company. So these are some of the examples of red team exercise which may include penetration testing. So basically penetration testing, also known as ethical hacking, is where the tester trying to gain access to a system, often using a software tools. For example, John the Ripper, which is a password cracking program. It can detect what type of encryption is used and try to bypass it. Next one, social engineering. So social engineering is where the red team attempts to pursue or trick members of a staff into disclosing the credential or allowing access to a restricted area. As I already discussed about social engineering is all about playing with your mind. Like all the cyber attack, which may include like 80% are social engineering attack and 20% are rest your logic like how you're going to get into a system. So at first you need some sort of social engineering skills, you can say. And at second third, phishing. So basically phishing entails sending apparently authentic emails that entice a staff member to take certain actions such as logging into the hacker website and entering credentials. And we'll get to the fourth point, which is intercepting communication software tool. So basically, such a packet sniffer and protocol analyzer can be used to map a network or read messages sent in clear text. So the purpose of this tool is to gain information on a system. For example, if an attacker knows a server is running on Microsoft operating system, then they would focus their attack to exploit Microsoft vulnerabilities. There are a lot of CVs which are being available from where you can get some sort of exploits so to get into some sort of vulnerability and weaknesses. So you can also try it. And at last, card cloning. Some of you are getting like what why card cloning is being listed in this particular list. So basically, card cloning often employs security card to grant access in unrestricted areas such as server room. So basically, in a higher organization or in a company, no one can enter in their um, entire building, and if someone will enter, then there are a lot of restrictions in their server room. So basically, to get into the server room, the hackers might be used, or maybe the red teamer will just clone the card so that they will get a proper identity card of like the server maintainer or someone who like get into the server room. So this is all about the red teaming. Now, what is a blue team? So a blue team is basically consist of security professionals who has an inside out views of the organization. So basically, as I told you, red teamers was offensive one and blue teamers are the defensive one. So basically, the blue teamers task is to protect the organization critical asset against any kind of threat. They are well aware of the business, which objects, and the organization's security strategy. So therefore, their task is to strengthen the castle walls so no intruder can compromise the defenses. So now it's like, how does a blue team work? Or maybe how does a blue teamer work? So the blue team first gather data, documents exactly what need to be protected and carry out risk assessment. They then tighten up the access to the system in many ways, including introducing strong password policies and educating staffs of ensuring they understand and conform to security procedures. Monitoring tools are often put in place, allowing information regarding access to the system to be logged and checked for unusual activity. So basically, blue teams will perform regular checks on the system, for example DNS audit. So blue team have to establish security measures around key asset of an organization. They start their defensive plan to identify the critical asset, document the importance of these assets to the business and what impact the absence of these assets will have. Blue teams then perform risk assessment by identifying threat against each asset and the weakness these threats can exploit. By evaluating the risk and prioritizing it, the blue team develops an action plan to implement control that can lower the impact of likelihood of threat implementation against asset. Senior management involved are crucial at this stage, as only they can decide to accept a risk or implement mitigations control against it. The selection of control is often based on cost efficiency analysis to ensure security control deliver maximum value to the business. For example, a blue team may identify that their company network is vulnerable to a DDoS, which is so-called distributed denial of service attack. The attack reduces the availability of a network to legitimate user by sending incomplete traffic requests to the server. Each of the request requires resources to perform an action, which is why the attack severely crept on a network. The team then calculates the loss in case the threat occurs based on the cost benefit analysis and aligning with business objective. A blue team would consider installing an intrusion detection or prevention system, which is so-called IDS and IPS, to minimize the risk of DDoS attack. So now I'll be talking about exercise or maybe the example of blue team exercises. So the blue team use a variety of methods and tools as countermeasures to protect a network from cyber attacks. Depending on the situation, a blue team may determine the additional firewall need to be installed to block access to an internal network, or the rise to social engineering attack is so critical that it warrants the cost of implementing security awareness training company-wide. So here are some of the examples of blue team exercise which may include performing DNS auditing. So basically this is like domain name server to prevent phishing attack, avoid a stable DNS issue, avoid downtime from DNS record deletion and prevent reduced DNS and web attacks. The second one is conducting digital footprint analysis. So, so basically this is like to track users activity and identify and known signatures that might indicate a breach of security. The third point, installing endpoint security software to the external device such as laptop and smartphone. And then ensuring firewalls access control are properly configured and that antivirus software are kept up to date. And after that, they may deploy IDS and IPS software as detective and preventive security controls, and they may implement SIEM solution to log and engage network activity. And they also analyze logs in memory to pick up unusual activity on the system and identify and pinpoint the attack. After that, they may segregating network and ensuring they are configured correctly using vulnerability scanner software on a regular basis. And they also do securing system by using antiviruses or anti-malware software and at last embedding security in processes. So now we will going to discuss like what are the benefits of red and blue team. So implementation, a red and blue team strategy allow an organization to benefit from two totally different approach and skill set. It also brings a certain amount of competitive into the task, which encourages high performance on part of both teams. The red team is valuable in that it identifies vulnerability, but it can only highlight the current status of the system. On the other hand, the blue team is valuable in that it gives long-term protection by ensuring defense remain strong and by constant monitoring of the system. The key advantage, however, the continual improvement in the security posture of an organization by finding gaps and thus filling those gaps with appropriate controls. Now the next question is, how do red team and blue team work together? So communication between the two teams is the most important factor in successful red and blue team exercises. So the blue team should stay up to date on the new technologies for improving security and should share these findings with the red team. Likewise, the red team should always be aware of new threats and penetration techniques used by hackers and advise the blue team on prevention techniques. Depending on the goals of your test will depend on whether or not the red team inform the blue team of a planned test. For example, if the goal is to simulate a real response scenario to a legitimate threat, then you wouldn't want to tell the blue team about the test. The caveat is that something in management should be aware of this test, typically a blue team lead. So this ensures the response scenario is still tested, but with tighter control when if the situation is escalated. When the test is complete, both teams gather inform and report on their finding. The red team advise the blue team if they manage to penetrate defense and provide advice on how to block similar attempts in a real scenario. Likewise, the blue team should let the red team know whether or not their monitoring procedure pick up an attempt attack. So the both teams should then work together to plan, develop, and implement strong security control as needed. So now here's the last topic. What is purple team? So this is the essential part of this video. You're going to learn a new thing. So basically we'll talk like what is purple team. So let's create a scenario something like why red team and blue team share common goals. They are often not politically aligned. For example, red teams who report vulnerabilities are prized for a job well done. Therefore, they are not incentivized to help the blue team strengthen their security by sharing information on how they bypass their security. There is also no point in winning red team test if you are not sharing that information with the blue team. Remember, the main purpose of red and blue team exercise is to strengthen the overall security posture of the organization. That's where the concept of purple team comes into place. A purple team isn't necessarily a stand-alone team, although it could be. The goal of a purple team is to bring both red and blue team together while encouraging them to work as a team to share insights and creating a strong feedback loop. So the management should ensure that the red and blue teams work together and keep each other informed. Enhanced cooperation between both teams through proper resource sharing, reporting, and knowledge sharing is essential for the continual improvement of the security program. So this is all about this video. I hope you learned something new. So you can comment in this video like anything you wishes to learn new, and if you got something new in this video, so you can comment below. So we are always ready to answer you. And as well, you can follow us on some of the platform which may include YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, anywhere you can type VIH group, you'll find us there. So let's see you in the next video. So have a great day. Happy New Year.